welcome to day 5 of How to Heal When You're Everyone's Healer. I am so excited that you have joined with me today on the last day of the challenge. It has been a phenomenal journey, at least for me, being able to share this information. So let's kind of recap what we've done thus far. The first day, we really went through and audited our energy, what's in our cup, where are the leaks at, what's draining us. The second day, we got around the stories that we told ourselves, right? The narratives that we've kind of gotten stuck in and how to rewrite those. The third day, we talked about boundaries and how they are gatekeepers to what we want to allow in and the things that we want to kind of keep at a distance from ourselves so it doesn't drain us. Yesterday, we talked about reconnecting to the well of I am, that deep well within that allows for us to have nourishment and continual rejuvenation. Today, we're going to talk about the ancestral thread. So, I hope that you're ready. We're going to get into it. But first, did you drink your water today? Did you do your deep breathing today? Did you give yourself a hug today? Did you love on yourself today? Okay, now we can start. Oh, and like and share and do all the things. Please and thank you. All right, let's get started, guys. So, this ancestral thread. Um, one of the first things I thought about when I started doing this challenge was how much of it we learn from the people that have come before us, right? Um, Many of us as black and brown women, we are threads, right? We call the ancestral thread is this connection that takes us through generations of generations of generations. And I'm gonna go sciencey on you for 2 seconds. So there's a thing called epigenetics, and if you don't know much about it, you can go and research a documentary called "The Ghost in the Cell." But essentially, our DNA carries what is called a it's called epigenetics, but it's like a little black box, and it records things about life and the things that we've gone through in our DNA cells, right? And it's passed on through generations. When I first started doing trauma work, um, the studies that came out were like it recorded up to 5 generations of things like trauma and alcoholism and starvation and all those things to try to prepare the body for what might come, right? What may be something that it experienced. Since I've been in this field, it has now come out that it holds up to 14 generations in our epigenetics. And so when we talk about the ancestral thread, it's first there's very physiological sciencey stuff that's there, and then there's the conditioning and the behaviors that we've learned, the habits that we've learned, the mindsets that we've learned that came before us. And much of what you're going to read today, much of what you will do today, we'll talk about honoring what came before us. It's really, really easy to judge those that came before us. Well, they did this and they said this and they could have did this better and and the reality is people most oftentimes did the best they could with what they had and what they knew, and a lot of times that wasn't enough to sustain them, much less those that came behind them. We lived in a space of continuous fight, flight, or freeze, a continuous um, journey of trying to just claw our way in survival and sustain. And in the midst of that, trying to raise another generation, trying to find some joy, some semblance of joy, some semblance of happiness, some semblance of something that made life worth living, right? And so when we look at our ancestors, it is crucial for us to do so with compassion, to do so with the same grace and mercy that our future generations are hopefully will look back at us. That we didn't have all the answers, that there were lots of, turmoil and barriers that we had to jump over, and that we did the best we could with what we had and what we know. And that the work that we're doing right now is so that the future generations that come after us will not have to work as hard, will not have to heal as much, that we'll be able to have, stand on our shoulders and go further than we did and have a different world, a different experience than we have had. And so as we're thinking about this ancestral thread, these things that we've learned from our mothers and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, and they have passed on from our great great grandmothers, um, it is important for us to do so with grace, mercy, compassion, and forgiveness, while equally being able to say that no longer goes with me. I don't have to carry that. That's not my burden anymore. That's not my mindset. That's not how I'm going to go forward. I can do something different. I'm going to birth a new space here. I'm going to allow for other experiences to come my way. We get to be the birthers of the next generation and how things go, right? And even if your children are grown, this is something I say a lot in therapy, because um, sometimes we think, well, we missed that opportunity. Baby, as long as you on this earth, you ain't missed nothing. You have the opportunity to go do whatever you needed to do. So if you need to go to your children and say, you know what, I ain't do that right. I didn't handle that right. The way I spoke to you wasn't the way that I needed to speak to you. If I could do it over, I wish I could have did this, right? These are the lessons I was trying to teach. I probably the intent and the impact were two different things. I'm sorry. It's okay to say I'm sorry. Just as though we would love some forgiveness for ourselves, we also have to offer forgiveness to those that came before us. And so today, as we're thinking about how do we heal, we first think about how or where healing is needed across the lineage, right? And understanding that our healing is bigger than us. Our healing is for the past, it's for the present, and it's the foundation that we will build upon for the future. Where we need to give grace in the past is also the space that we give grace for ourselves. It's also the space that we give grace in our mindsets, right? And so today I'm going to challenge you to be uncomfortable enough to find the grace to let it go. There's a quote that I love that says, and I cannot remember who it's by. I'm going to go find it and put it someplace. You guys will find it on my Instagram or my TikTok or something. But it says, that we're carrying, and this is paraphrased by the way, that we're carrying the mountains that we were meant to climb. Like a lot of times we are carrying things that are burdens it was just a lesson, and we took it and we made it, and we live in that valley of that thing. We live in the story of that thing. Today, I encourage you to take some time and think about not just the things that may have not been the most comfortable or the things that may not have been the most easiest with those that came before you, but also the blessings that you did have, the lessons that you did learn, even if it was in spite of that person, right? But I'm 100%, even dealing with people that have trauma, I can tell you no one 100% has 100% negative memories. There's usually some silver lining, something there somewhere that reminds us that we're grateful for something in that process, right? So today, take some time. Now I'm going to caution you and say, this is not easy work. It's sacred work. This digging is sacred work. So if you start getting into this, and it starts getting a little bit more than you can do, I need you to take up. You got to know when to pause, breathe. If you need me, reach out to me. Please do not be over there suffering by yourself when you can message me in my inbox and I can try to help you, walk you through some things. But really, spend some time with your ancestors, being grateful for the fact that you get to stand here on their shoulders and you get to be the shoulders that the next generation stands on. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow, but today is the last day of the challenge, and I'm so very proud of you for joining me for 5 days, just learning on how to heal when you're me. I love you.